This first news story comes to us from Screen Rant, written by Todd Black. New Xbox console leaks hint at big change in strategy for next generation. A leaker has claimed that Microsoft is already preparing its next Xbox console for launch. While that isn't surprising in and of itself, as console makers start prepping their next systems once a new one releases, the leaker claims that the next console will release far sooner than projections felt it would. Leaker, the Ghost of Hope, posted on X, formerly Twitter. I hate that they do that. Just call it X or call it Twitter. They don't
just call it Twitter, man. We know what you're talking about.
Everyone calls it Twitter.
X.
Posted on Twitter that according to their quote-unquote trusted sources, the next Xbox console would be released in the latter part of 2026. If true, that would mean that the system would come out around 6 years after the release of the Xbox Series X and S. Interesting. Just as important, the Ghost of Hope indicated that one of the big day one releases would be the Call of Duty title expected to drop in 2026. Microsoft currently owns Activision and thus may roll out the red carpet for the series' annual entry to make it stand out. This prediction specifically contradicts the documents released during the FTC versus Microsoft trial when the company was in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard King. In key filings, Microsoft documents were made public, which speculated that both Microsoft and rival Sony would release the next line of consoles in 2028, not 2026. However, recent events might have indicated that Microsoft needed to push things out faster. For example, despite Xbox Game Pass being hailed as a game changer, subscriptions have gone stagnant in recent months. Another issue is that despite the Xbox Series X and S being released in 2020, its sales have been slow going. As of February 2024, the combined sales of the system were under 28 million. In contrast, recent numbers for the PlayStation 5 indicate that the console is at 59 million sold. The two systems were released within days of one another. And Xbox head Phil Spencer noted in other documents uncovered in the FTC case that he felt the Microsoft platform was the superior system. Yet, the PS5 has done vastly better in both hardware and software. If you can say for certain what the next Xbox system will be, rumors have spread that Microsoft will try to emulate the Nintendo Switch's success by making an Xbox with a handheld peripheral, but that's not been confirmed. Furthermore, Xbox has tried to copy Nintendo in the past via the Kinect, and it backfired on them. It should also be stated that the leaker, the Ghost of Hope, is typically known for only providing information about Call of Duty, so their words about Microsoft's next system should be taken with a grain of salt. So yeah, there's some news that Xbox is pushing things up a couple years and looking to make Call of Duty the big launch title. How does that strike you? Because
dumb.
Yeah, because I'm thinking them moving up the launch of their new console isn't necessarily dumb. But the big launch title being Call of Duty seems strange, especially when they have a deal with PlayStation that they have to continue to release out on other consoles for like the next, 10 years? I don't know the exact number.
Exactly.
So their quote unquote launch title that's supposed to draw people to their console is a game that's still going to be available everywhere.
You know what's going to happen? People are going to be playing whatever other console because they also have a commitment with Nintendo. So by the time that this comes out, we're already going to have that next piece of Nintendo hardware, right? So people on other platforms are going to see this. They're going to be playing their games. Xbox is going to make an announcement. Oh, we got a new console coming out and it's going to have the new Call of Duty on it. They're going to look and they're going to go, oh, that's great. And then go back to playing their game.
Yeah. Or go back to playing Call of Duty on their own console because
that's what
they
I'm talking
can.
about. Yeah,
exactly. Like, whoa.
They're gonna be like, oh, okay, who cares? I'm still getting it here. Why?
Unless
if you're banking on Call of Duty,
unless there's some loophole in the deal where they're able to do like a timed exclusive. I don't know. I feel
like that go directly in the face of all those FCC hearings. The FCC would be on them so fast if they did that.
Yeah, Again, I haven't read all the official legal documents or whatever deal they came up with, but that's the only thing I could see them really making this work is like, okay, yeah, no, it's like if in the fine print, they technically are allowed to have it exclusive for like a couple months, like maybe not a long time. It's like, oh, get it like a month or two early by buying on Xbox or something, which still sounds silly. Like, why would I buy a $600 console to play 2 months early? Stupid thanks. Call of Duty. But I say that. But people do that. People do stupid stuff or spend.
I don't think enough people would warrant that.
Not enough to make it worth it their while. But I'm just thinking like freaking Ubisoft with their buy the gold edition and play a week early. And so many people will spend like $120 to play a game a week early. And half the times it's so riddled with bugs, it's unplayable or the servers are broken. So you're paying for a beta test. That's what's going to happen with Call of Duty is like you're going to pay for like a 2-month beta test or something. Again, it's complete speculation, but all around, it's just a wild choice for them.
They act like the old Call of Duty is just going to shut off. You know, as soon as this one comes out, like, oh, I guess I have to go because they're going to turn this Call of Duty off.
Yeah, shut down.
Yeah,
maybe that's the news is they're actually going to shut down Warzone like right before. Like, sorry, this is the last.
If you want to keep playing Warzone, you got to buy the new Xbox.
Yeah, you want to play a free game? Well, you got to pony up the dollars to play.
You want to talk about backlash? You think you've seen gamer backlash before? If they were to pull a stunt like this,
there would be literal riots in the street. Like,
absolutely, there would be Molotovs going right in Redmond right now, or Seattle. I mean, right now.
Xbox fans are just a completely different breed. They are absolutely bonkers, wild people, and to think of pissing them off, it sounds terrifying. Like that's
not only that, not just regular pissing them off, but like sending them over the edge. Because now you're telling me it's $600 to play Call of Duty now. I got your $600 right here. Stay right there.
Obviously, they'd never do anything like that, but I don't know. It's just
fun to say. But people are going to take it like we actually mean they're going to do that.
Still a wild.
They can't even hold their own resolve to not buy a game. You think they're actually going to do something? Okay,
that's true. Oh man, yeah. I don't. As far as the next gen coming a little sooner than everyone thought, because originally, the talks were 2028. Now it's 2026. I guess for me, it is surprising a little bit because most generations are like at least 7 to 8 years. 7 kind of being the sweet spot, I feel like, but I don't know.
I don't think they can afford to wait that long anymore. I think technology is advancing too rapidly at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, things are constantly changing so much not with graphics, that's for sure. Because that's I think so that's like my biggest thing is like even whether it's PlayStation or Xbox, I'm not going to be biased one way or another. This next gen in general, we're in a weird spot where I feel like graphics aren't going to get that much better for a long time. Like we've kind of plateaued. We're in this weird like graphics plateau, and I guess I just hope PlayStation or Xbox or whoever it is, whenever these next gen consoles come out, that they don't focus so much on the graphics. Because so far, that's what with this generation, they both focused on graphics and they focused on how fast the SSDs are. And the SSDs are fast and games load fast. That was the biggest
upgrade to me.
It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. But honestly, the graphics haven't been that much better with the games. Like
this was not a $500 graphical jump. Not in the slightest for either side. I have not seen a game yet that makes me go, there's no possible way that this could have been done on PS4. No, they could have did it on PS4.
Other than like what I've seen of gameplay videos of Hellblade 2. Like that's supposed to be on a whole nother level.
That's like the first one, but we're 4 years and some change in now.
Exactly.
And they're getting ready to go to the next one.
Yeah, so I just hope they focus on something different. Like, I hope the next generation of consoles can. I mean, obviously, if you're selling hardware, there has to be some hardware change. So, off the top of my head, I'm struggling to think of what else there is. If it's not graphics, and if it's not SSD, the memory, what is it? Do they start upgrading audio? Like Sony kind of touched on it this gen with like the 3D audio. Is it now? Is it time to like, okay, now we're gonna upgrade the audio chips in there and come up with this crazy new AI technology that does is 3D audio?
I guess they can, but Sony already did that, and they actually did it really well. Yeah, the Tempest Engine, I have to hand it to them, is amazing. So I don't know how they can even improve on that this quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Xbox did their typical marketing speak of like, this is going to be the biggest what did they say? Biggest technological leap in the history of Xbox from one console to the other. There's no way.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah. At this point, it's like until the technology is actually out there to make graphics better, then don't make that the focus. Because you made it the focus and you've not been able to follow through on it. And honestly, too, like more and more, I feel like I'm seeing it more and more on the internet. It's not everyone, because there's still very much large groups of people who are in the one camp, but there's a lot of people who are also coming over saying it's not just about graphics. Make a game that's fun and has a good story.
First and foremost.
Yeah, because so many games are coming out that are graphically impressive, but then empty, story-wise, narratively, and empty narratively and gameplay-wise, just like not fun to play. And like I would be fine with graphics taking a hit if it meant that every game that came out was fun,
less buggy, had more innovative systems in it, made sure that every time it was a top tier story. I would take that over 4K any day of the week. And even then, the 4K that they tried to push, that they put on the box, never happened.
No.
And if it did, it only happened with what? Racing games?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't 4K. It wasn't native 4K. It was 4K with the rendering tricks they have to put in.
Right. Yeah. So all the consoles output at 4K, but it's all like fake 4K.
It's just upsampled 1080p
in most cases. So yeah, it really is.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I feel like
I almost wish they would skip the next gen, and instead of being like, hey, a new console's coming out, be like, hey, here's the new Xbox. And instead of showing a box, it's just like, here's what we're doing for our game portfolio to really like, so everyone is expecting like, ooh, the new Xbox, like thinking they're talking about the actual box itself, when really they're talking about the company. Hey, here's the new Xbox. It's not a new console, actually. We're going to keep using the Series X, and since that technology
is getting the most out of it,
and that Series X, that technology, obviously, like the parts in that is getting cheaper and cheaper as time goes on because things are progressing. Sell that at a cheaper price point, make that the Series S price point, and be like, hey, you can go out and buy a Series X. But the main thing we're talking about is here's our slate of games and how we're going to make them actually fun and actually good. And it's not just about graphics. Like, kind of throw everyone for a loop, because everyone's expecting to announce the next console, and they're like, actually, we're not. We're going to stick with the current gen that we've had, but we're going to come at it from a different strategy, like a different angle. And I think that would be, I don't know.
I tell you what, if they came out and said, if they said Series S or Series X was $299, I would look. I would look.
And imagine, I mean, and I'm saying this is the year 2026 or 2027. This isn't now. Right. I think it's still a little too soon right now. But say in 2026 or 2027, when we would all think a new console's coming out, instead of a new console coming out, say, hey, this thing has enough power. We just haven't learned how to utilize, we haven't best utilized it. So that's the quote unquote new Xbox is our new development strategy. I don't know. I know that's wild, and that's not what Xbox is going to do, because they just want to
marketing. Yeah, you're not going to see as many returns. Blah blah blah.
Obviously, to keep things fresh, like I'm sure there's
what keeps things fresh? New good games. That's what keeps things fresh.
Exactly.
New good games at a good, consistent release rate. That's what keeps consoles fresh. I don't care about the box I want to play it on. I'm gonna have to play it on. What am I playing on the box? So far, you've given me one game that I'm like, oh, this is a killer app, or it should be a killer app, but you know the market for that is not as big as it should be. Which is just Hi-Fi Rush. But everything else was like, oh, it's okay. It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. Even with their new flagship Hellblade. That's what I've been hearing is it looks phenomenal. But as far as actually like a game, it's okay. You know, like that PS4 game. What was it?
Yeah, well,
the Vampire Hunter one.
The Order 1887 or whatever. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's been kind of polarizing. I've heard some people been like, oh, it's not bad, it's fine. But then I've heard other people who've given it like 9 out of 10. So it's like, it just depends on what you're into. Honestly, I feel like From everything I've heard, because I've read both the positive and the negative reviews, and I'm like, even the negative reviews have me like, oh, this sounds like my kind of game. Like the reason this person didn't like it is because they were expecting like an Uncharted level action when really it's more slow plotting storytelling. And that's not what they wanted. So I'm like, well, that's what I preach every week on the show is I just love games for their stories. So I'm like, this game sounds amazing because it's just like, you know, that the action sequences aren't necessarily what you would expect. And the puzzles are kind of similar to what they had in the first game. But I mean, the story is supposed to just be like, you know, still great. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what I want in a game. So yeah, I've seen kind of both reviews, and all the reviews I've read, I'm like, honestly, Hellblade sounds pretty amazing. But that's just because I have a weird taste in games. It's very much like I can forgive bad gameplay when the story is really good. Because I've heard the story's great even from the negative reviews. It's just more, the gameplay wasn't
a slow burn.
Wasn't people's. Yeah, it was more like slow. But I don't know. Obviously, I haven't played it, and hopefully I can soon if I can get an Xbox subscription or get a job first and then get an Xbox subscription. Try it out. That'd be a fun one, but I don't even know if my computer could run it. I need to look at like the minimum specs.
I feel like it should be able to, right? A 3090 is still out. It's still running circles around a Series X. So
I have
you
a
should be
3070.
Or 3070, I mean.
Maybe.
Or it's at least on par. So I feel like you should have a good chance.
We'll see. I'll have to look up some specs later. But yeah, so yeah, Xbox may, again, it's all rumors, all leaks, quote unquote leaks. Some more rumors and everything. You know, the article calls it a leak, but until anything is substantiated, it's a rumor in my book. We'll see. I'll have to wait and see if Xbox has anything to say in the next couple of years.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man.
We got time.
They need a W right now.
2026 is a long way away, so we have time. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.